Hi, it's Stephen Young with the Leadership Doctor, again coming to you with another video post. And today I wanted to talk about our behaviors that are limiting us in our ability to lead. And what I'm talking about are specifically leadership traits or traits that are keeping us from being great leaders, such as procrastination, or maybe they're even deeper than that, more true psychological issues such as negative or limiting beliefs, anger, or resentment or fear. And something that I wanted to take a look at is how can we take care of those things? How can we eliminate those from our being? And one of the ways that I have looked at doing it are what I call all of my exes. And so the first one is to extract those negative or limiting beliefs. And it could be even deeper than just simply negative or limiting beliefs or anger or fear. It could be things such as alcoholism or pornography or addictions or anything like that that we really need to take a look at and grasp and get rid of those out of our lives so that we will be successful and be able to be leaders. And again, this can be a leader of one, a leader of our family, a leader of our church. It doesn't have to be a leader of a great organization. That would be wonderful, but it doesn't have to be that. It could just be a leader of you, just grasping life and saying, I am me. I am a leader, and I am going to get rid of these things that keep me from being successful. So the first thing that we need to do is extract these things from our lives. What do we do? What are those negative feelings? We need to write them down. So sit down, get a piece of paper, get a journal, something, and just write down all of your negative addictions, feelings, fears, whatever it might be. Write them down. Let's get them out there on a piece of paper so that we know them. Really sit there and take a couple of minutes and reflect on the different issues that you have in your life. It might be something simple. It might be just things like procrastination or inability to really sit down and plan, or not doing goals. It could be something bigger, like I had said before, with addictions or alcoholism. Whatever it is, write it down. Write down as many of things as you can come up with and put it down on a piece of paper. The next thing, now that we've extracted them, the next X is we want to examine them. We are going to sit there and look at each one of the items that we've put down on our list. And what I want to do, and this might sound kind of hokey, I know, but I'm getting my doctorate's degree in psychology, and so one of the ways that I've learned, one of the therapies that I've learned, is to do what we call the empty chair routine. And so what I want you to do is sit in a chair, and maybe have a chair next to you, have the couch next to you, have something, but have a chair that you can actually visualize. And I want you to imagine that is you. So you are sitting right there in that chair. And you're going to be talking to yourself now. And I want you to really examine each one of them. Look at your piece of paper and say, okay, I procrastinate. And then look at yourself and say, Stephen, why do I procrastinate? And talk to yourself. Have a conversation. Okay, again, this might sound kind of crazy, and you might look kind of crazy by doing this if you're doing it in the car or something. But if you're doing it in the privacy of your home or your room, where you can just sit there and be honest with yourself, really get into the mode of examining these limiting beliefs, these negative issues that you have, and take it seriously. Actually look at the chair and imagine that that is you. Imagine that you're talking to yourself as somebody else. You're your own therapist. Now, if you've got your own therapist already and you're able to work through those issues, great. But this is the poor man's version of being able to help yourself get rid of these issues. Okay, so I want you to sit down in that chair and just go through each one of the issues. Start with number one and go through all of them and work it out with yourself and talk about it. You'll be amazed at how great it is when you're verbalizing these issues, how it will come out of the surface. And maybe you're even doing that when you're doing the extracting. You're kind of talking to yourself and you're working through these issues and you're putting it on the piece of paper by talking to yourself and getting it out in the open. But when you're doing the examining phase and you've got that open chair there and you're sitting there and you're talking about it, it's really going to help you to verbalize it. So don't short shrift or shortchange this step. You want to make it as serious and real as possible. The third and final X that I want you to do is expel them. I want you to expel those limiting beliefs, expel those addictions. And I know this post is kind of simple in its nature, of as far as it's just a couple of minutes of therapy, I guess. But these are the 3 quick ones, and we'll probably examine them again in later posts and go into more detail of each specific X. But for the final one is to expel them. So how do you get rid of these limiting behaviors? And it really starts with that open chair. And it might take you a couple of times. It might take you a half an hour per item to sit there and really work through it and talk to yourself about it and create a conversation. Make it so that it's almost like you're not talking to yourself, but it's you and it's you. But you are, like I said, your therapist or a coach, or maybe imagine yourself as somebody else, but the person in the chair is you. And so the two of you are having a conversation. Maybe it's your best friend, your trusted advisor. Make it me, make it whoever it is that you want to make it. But make it somebody that you like. Make it somebody who's going to have compassion and empathy and be nice to you while you have this conversation. You shouldn't be getting in arguments with yourself. Have a true, honest, good-to-heart conversation with yourself about these negative beliefs, about these fears that you have, about these addictions, and work it out. I promise you, if you do this and you actually take it to be real and you really do it honestly and sincerely in your heart, you will be able to start to expel these negative beliefs. You will see yourself being a more whole person. You will be more optimistic in life, and you will be the leader that you want to be. This is Stephen Young, the Leadership Doctor, theleadershipdr.com. Thank you so much.